Mummy, what do you think life would have been like if you'd stayed in the Seychelles?
Well, you might have been part black. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Son savoyas, pour dans nous votre réveil, à son petit ami qui est sincère.
Things like your education and...
Yeah, well, they've got actually quite good education here.
Yeah.
And even a long time ago, Papa had a fantastic education here through the Marist brothers. They had the Marist brothers here, and the nuns were here to teach the girls. So they were quite adequate. Alright, off they go to the beach. I can see you. This is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, Steve O'Diva. Come on, jump into it. It's not cold.
C'est celle pour rester dans sa vie. On nous crie Weber, sa père qui n'a pas la prière. On nous crie c'est nous tous nous les nous identité. Sa élection qui pendant sa pays pas censé. C'est celle pour rester dans sa vie. C'est le wapet ou bat nous la terre. Encore arrive 2013. Mais où l'autre plan qui rend pas encore la tête, c'est le roi avec Expo 2020.
Ça, tu connais pas depuis dans...
Ah, se filmer, ouais, voilà. Encore sur les télés. What do you think your life
Would have
do you
been
feel like you've missed out on growing up?
No, I think I've gained everything. In many ways, the sickness has been avoided, if you want to call it that way. I had such a good time in Switzerland. I was really quite happy. And I received fairly regular correspondence from Papa and Mama. Well, Mama mostly. Her woman.
Yeah.
And and they sent me photos. No, I was kept in the link with my family. I wasn't abandoned.
Sa élection qui pendant sa pays pas censé, c'est celle pour rester dans sa vie. On nous crie Weber, sa père qui n'a pas la prière. On nous crie c'est nous tous nous les nous identité. Sa élection qui pendant sa pays pas censé, c'est celle pour rester dans sa vie. On nous crie Weber, sa père qui n'a pas la prière. On nous crie c'est
Mon petit copain, Steve, regarde, voilà.
Un beau Seychelles. Very nice.
And in English?
And in English, he's my friend.
Uh,
A little Seychelles like me, my friend. You show that to Papa. I don't think he'll get jealous here.
Et il y a très peu de Seychellois en Australie qui ont gardé ça. Très peu. Hein? Ils se sont mariés à un Australien, ils se sont mariés à ça, alors on parle anglais, on parle... C'est ridicule quand les enfants auraient pu avoir... Ça, genre,
Le papa de Claude.
Non,
frère.
Oui, le papa de Claude, oui.
Ouais.
Oui, voilà. Voilà. Ça, c'est mon père.
Ouais.
C'était
So
Henri.
that's my grandfather.
Et
That's
ça,
Mum's
c'est...
grandmother.
Voilà. So that's the grandmother.
Wow.
wow.
In the 1950s, well, it was a very quiet life, very relaxing, very... Well, you had the people who were the planters, like I lived on a plantation. So the planters, they had coconuts, so they made copra out of it to export. Cinnamon, the cinnamon bark was exported. From the leaves of the cinnamon, it was cinnamon oil, so that was distilled and exported too. Vanilla, that was approximately the different products which we exported. So you had people who visited each other through.
Last time, sorry. Pause.
Allez, passe. So what could I say? I mean, for example, in the 50s, there was no electricity. There was electricity only in Victoria, and only from 6 in the evening to 6 in the morning.
Really?
Here, there was no electricity until the 70s.
Wow.
So,
What about the other infrastructure, roads?
well, we had the roads, but they were not tarmacked at the time. They were dirt roads. No, there were roads going round the island, crossing over from like the Les Canels Road or the Sans Souci Road. They all existed, but they were simple roads. There were not, of course, there were not so many cars. People went a lot by bicycle, and life was quiet, was calm. There was, of course, no. Some people had a radio that was about the same thing, that the only thing that one could have.
So what did people do for entertainment?
Entertainment, yes, people visited each other, people invited each other home for a meal. We had dances. There was a place called in Victoria called Seychelles Club, where your grandfather was a member. It was more for the at the time the white people, if you want, and so we met there. We had dances. It was a very very social sort of going to one another. From an artistic point of view, people played musical instruments. People were well read. They read. They had books. They had been to the convent or to the college, so they were and cultured people, which today you don't find. Claude? Well, Claude was my first cousin, so I've known her always, all my life, and Noel I knew also, so we sort of saw each other often, either at the club or I used to go to them. There had been a little bit of between your great-grandmother, Claude's mother, and my father. There was some family whatever, so they were not on speaking terms. But that didn't stop me from, But of all the sisters, I didn't see very much of Alice and Philippe. But their children, yes, because Robert is the same age as I am. So we were friendly, and so we went to each other's place and so forth. But Claude, it was different. I knew the children. Aline was when I taught at the school, Aline was my pupil. And I gave private lessons to Alex and, things of... I've known them very well. Very, very well. And when I left in 1958, we used to correspond, to have, cards here and there.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So do you remember Maman when she was a little girl?
I remember her... maybe I've seen her once or twice, and then I heard she was going to Switzerland. But I always, when I went to them, did you have news from, and they would tell me about your mother.
So was that common for people if they had a sick child to send them to another country?
Well, no. The fact is that there was here the ailment could not be cured. So that is why we had a hospital. But with very few doctors and no specialists. So that is why she had to go to Switzerland.
So do you think that with all of the families, so many children, how many illegitimate families are there in all of that?
Well, Seychelles is well known for the rate of illegitimate children.
Someone once said, when they say, her husband has a mistress or his wife has a
Lover.
People don't say, oh my God. They say, who is it? That's a normal thing here.
No, that has... And then some of the white settlers, they very often had mistresses round the property somewhere. So that's how you had what we call les mulâtres, right? Because there was a lot of that. Voilà, je crois que je vous ai tout dit.
Merci beaucoup. Je t'aime ça.